Oversight, Transparency and Accountability Initiative Against Corruption, and 5 other civil society groups condemning the plans to blackmail the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, over the $9.6 P&ID judgment. As a civil society group, deeply concerned about entrenching transparency and accountable leadership in the quest for economic growth and democratic stability, we have keenly followed the trajectory of events pertaining to the gas processing contract entered into between the federal government of Nigeria and Process and Industrial Development Limited. From its conception stage to this point where judgment has been passed. In all of these stages, the matters that unfolded have been factually clear for any discerning mind to know the origins and processes of the contract and proceedings all the way. Irrespective of the glaring facts about the said contract and subsequent judgment, we have got wind of a bluntly determined attempt by hired unpatriotic civil society groups to blackmail the person of the Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, just in a bid to pass the buck and pave way for the hasty implementation of the $9.6 billion judgment premised on a shoddy and sham lawsuit filed at the court in the United Kingdom. The essence or the intention of these individuals who are throwing up this smoke screen is to ensure that they distract the federal government, they weigh down the Minister of Justice, and then they create a fast track for P&ID to hastily collect these monies while Nigeria loses. That should not be the case. For clear emphasis and proper records, it should be stated ab initio that the said contract between the federal government of Nigeria and Process and Industrial Development Limited was entered into in January 2010, when Mr. Michael Quinn, on behalf of P&ID, and Mr. Rilwan Lukman, the then Minister of Petroleum Resources, on behalf of the federal government, signed the gas sales and purchase agreement on behalf of the both parties, respectively, P&ID and the federal government of Nigeria. Furthermore, a cursory check will reveal that several other parties were integrated into the contract with clearly defined rules, and to the extent that their rules could affect the outcome of the contract either positively or negatively. It is also no hidden fact that some of these sub-parties to the contract pulled out in the course of time, leading to the failure of the said contract. Thus, the failure was not entirely at the instance or the fault of the federal government of Nigeria. Neither was the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, aware of all of this while it was ongoing, nor was he the Minister of Justice or a part of government at the material time all these were ongoing. Following the failure of the contract in 2014, Process and Industrial Development filed a suit against the federal government at the Arbitration Tribunal in the United Kingdom. It should be stated in clear terms that Abubakar Malami was not the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, neither did he have any role to play in the said contract at the material time. It is therefore mischievous to accuse Mr. Malami of sabotaging the federal government's effort, whereas he was not there from the commencement of the deal and or at the legal brickbats that ensued. Our findings reveal that the intentions of these civil society groups is to distract the Honorable Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria while frustrating the efforts of the federal government to amicably arrive at a more plausible solution which will create a soft landing for the federal government. P&ID has therefore engaged these mischievous groups to serve as smokescreen in fighting the Attorney General of the Federation while having their way with this judgment that is monumental and unprecedented in history. Available records show that the trump card of P&ID has been to consistently dig up dirt and mud and smear the image of any individual occupying the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, all in a bid to have their way in the long run. We therefore use this medium to discountenance any group before they embark on their binge of mischief against the Nigerian state. We're hearing sound the alarm that they are not just intent on coming for the head of Malami, but they are determined to grab the nation, Nigeria, by the jugular, as this case and the ferry judgment of the 9.6 billion is concerned. We therefore call on Nigerians to be vigilant against such groups while giving the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and the federal government the support they deserve in order to get a better negotiation for our country.